What's up, y'all? I'm just doing this video because I'm in case people out there, if you're looking for a flagship from last year, because a lot of people, they be looking for cheap phones. Not everybody wants to spend $800, $900, $1,000 on a phone. So this phone that I have right here, this is the LG V10 from last year. Okay? And in my opinion, this is a very underrated phone. This is a very underrated phone. This is a very underrated phone. I got this phone February of this year. And it's November 1st. And I haven't had any problems with this phone since I had it. No issues with lag. No issues with drop calls. No problems with it at all. This phone has worked like a straight beast for me. And when you get a new device, you want that device to be dependable. And this phone has been very dependable. The hi-fi DAC in this phone right here, when you plug the headphones into it, is awesome. It's awesome. LG does a really good job with their hi-fi sound. And this phone right here is no exception. There's a lot of good phones out there for around, $350, $400, $450. You got the OnePlus 3. You got the Alcatel Idol 4S. You got the Axon 7. You got the Huawei 8. You got a lot of phones out there. Right now you can get the Nexus 6P for around $300, $400. But if you're looking for a phone, a full-fledged media phone, multimedia phone, I would suggest getting this. You can get this phone on Amazon for around like $400 unlocked. You can walk into the T-Mobile store if you're on T-Mobile and probably get this phone and probably only have to pay like $14 a month for it. Because whenever the successor comes out, that the price on the older phone drops. But this phone has worked like a straight beast. I love the secondary display. Right here, you got your quick apps, your most recent apps. You can control your music right there. You got your favorite contacts, calendar, and then when you turn the phone off, I got the brightness down, so it's not going to be as bright. But you got right here, as you can see, let me turn the brightness down let me turn the brightness up real quick. Okay, right here, I turned it up a little bit. Right there, you got the flashlight, you got the camera right there, you got the Wi-Fi, you got your music right there. Whatever music player you use, whether it's the music player that comes with the phone or one that you download, it'll still show up in that secondary display. And also you get like a lot of notifications in that secondary display also. But I really recommend this phone. This is a good phone. This was a very underrated phone from last year. You ain't see no commercials for the LG V10 last year. This phone didn't really get the shine that I think it deserved, considering, the camera on here is a straight beast. The camera's a straight beast on this phone. You take it to the camera. Let me see if you zoom in on that. You got the manual mode on the, right now is audio, but you got manual mode on the camera. When you switch it to manual mode, that's the camera right there. And you got manual mode with the video recording. This phone has dual front-facing cameras. The wide-angle selfie lens is a straight beast. So if you're one of those guys or girls that like taking a lot of selfies, you're gonna love this phone. You know, this is still a good phone to get. You know, only $400, $450 on Amazon. I mean, this phone is real cheap right now because the V20 is out. The successor to this is out. But I mean, I haven't had an issue with this phone. I haven't had an issue with lag. None of that. I mean, this phone has been real dependable for me. Real dependable. Real dependable. Very dependable for me. And that's what you want when you get a phone. When you get a phone, you want that phone to be dependable. You know, you can put your little signature up there. You know, you can put whatever you want on that secondary display. You can put your name. You can put your son's name, your daughter's name. You can put, you know, some type of, a quote up there. You can put whatever you want right there. You know what I'm saying? Right there, I got Philly as home because I'm from Philadelphia. You know, but now I'm down here in the Washington D.C. area now. But you know, I stay representing my hometown, Philadelphia. But this phone right here, it just works like a charm. I mean, I've had no issues with this phone whatsoever. No issues. And that's what you want when you get a new device. You know, I love the build on there with the metal rails on the side. This is real metal. This is not no metal looking plastic. You know what I'm saying? Plastic that looks metal. This is real metal. If you was to take this phone and hit somebody upside the head with this phone, yeah, they would feel it. They would feel it. These metal bars on the side are very hard, real metal. But I just love the build of this phone. You know, I just love the build. I mean, this phone looks sturdy. I mean, look at that. It looks sturdy. You know what I'm saying? This looks like a, a construction worker's phone. You know, you can drop this. This phone has a military grade. I'm not sure what the military grade is, but you could drop this phone and not come away with, you know, a cracked screen. With that being said, I do suggest getting a tempered glass screen protector. Now, I don't have one. I have a regular screen protector on here, but I had a tempered glass one, but that one broke. But the fingerprint scanner on here works great. I just love the look of this phone. You know, it's very thin. You know, it's a very thin phone. Got the IR blast on top. You know, so if you out there looking for a full-fledged, cheap multimedia phone, I would highly suggest getting the LG V10. You know, it came out last year around August, September or something like that. But it has the 808 Snapdragon processor in there, and to be quite frank, the processor has been not an issue for me. I mean, I know processors tend to get old as you go on through the course of the year, but hasn't been an issue for me. I mean, the phone, you know, I haven't had any problems with lag or anything. So I strongly suggest, if you're looking for a cheap flagship from last year, you know what I'm saying, I would strongly suggest you get the LG V10. You're going to love the hi-fi DAC when you plug your headphones in. The secondary display is going to be real helpful. Also, a lot of people don't have this phone. Like I said, I bought this phone in February, and I've yet to see anybody else with it. You know, when I go to work in the morning, you know, you see people with the usual phones, the iPhones, the Samsungs. You know, if you do see somebody with an LG phone, it's normally the LG Stylo or the Stylo 2 or K10 or LG K7. But I haven't seen nobody else with an LG V10. You know, now if you go on the YouTube, if you go on a lot of tech channels, yeah, you know, a lot of people in the tech channels, they have this phone in the comment section and stuff like that. But I haven't seen nobody in person. I haven't seen another person with a V10. And I like that, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I go to work. When I first got this phone, you know, look, everybody at my job, they got iPhones, they got Samsung. And people was like, yo, what's that? I was like, it's the V10. It was like, I was showing them the secondary display and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And one guy at my job, he was coming up on an upgrade, and he couldn't get the phone. He couldn't get the V10 because he was on Sprint. Sprint didn't carry the V10 last year, which was crazy because AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon had it, but Sprint didn't carry the V10 for whatever reason. So he liked this phone. You know, I let him play around with it, you know what I'm saying, at break time. He liked this phone so much that Hi-Fi DAC, because, you know, he's real into music, let him check out the Hi-Fi DAC. He liked this phone so much that he canceled his subscription to Sprint and went to T-Mobile. and he got this phone. He got the this phone came in like, I think, 4 colors. He got the gold and blue one. I thought about getting that one because I thought that color was sweet, but I like to get all my phones in black, so I got the black one. But with that being said, I will be getting the LG V20 only because I just want a newer phone, you know. But you know, if there was no V20 coming out, I would be fine keeping this. You know, I would be fine keeping this. But, you know, the V20 just looks, you know, even better than this. Bigger battery. You know, the always on display is a little bit brighter. And the secondary display on the V20 I heard is bigger. Heard the Hi-Fi audio DAC. As great as the Hi-Fi DAC is on this phone, I heard the V20 is better. Even better. So, you know, I gotta plan on upgrading to the V10 to the V20 soon. But if you're looking for a cheap phone, they got, you know, they got real flagship specs and features, then I would suggest you get the V10. You can get this phone on Amazon for cheap, unlocked, or T-Mobile, you know, Verizon, AT&T. I'm quite sure it's cheaper on those carriers too. You know, and the main thing when you get a phone, and this is I'm honestly telling you this in this video. This phone has worked like a charm. Because when you get a new phone, that phone, in essence, is going to be your best friend. You're going to be calling on that phone to do a lot of tasks for you. Email, text, checking documents, making appointments, calls, you know, music. You know, there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to be asking the phone to search for different stuff. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to be calling upon the phone to do. And this phone hasn't failed me not one bit. Not one bit. Everything that I asked this phone to do, it's done. And that's all you want when you get a device. You just want that device to work. And the LG V10 has worked for me. So, you know, I strongly recommend this phone if you're looking for a flagship from last year. Because flagships from last year, you know, tend to be cheaper. You know, like if you wanted to get the Note 5, you can get the Note 5 for a good price compared to when the Note 5 first came out. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, there's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that get last year's flagships. You know, they'll wait until the next year, until the new flagship come out, and then get the last year's version of the model. So, you know, if you don't want to get the V20, because the V20 is going to cost more. I heard the V20 is like, what, $812 or something like that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Unlocked. So you can get the V10 unlocked for like about $400, $450. You know, maybe even cheaper than that. You know, I strongly recommend this phone. It's been a real good phone. You know, I love the build. I mean, it's very thin. I mean, look at this. It's not a brick. You know what I'm saying? It's not a brick. You know, you'll be amazed on how thin this phone is when you see it up close. You know, but I strongly recommend this phone. I love the secondary display, love the camera, love the video recording, love the Hi-Fi DAC. You know, there's tons of features on this phone. You know, fingerprint scanner works great. You know, the fingerprint scanner works excellent. So yeah, I strongly recommend this phone. And you know, check out the V10. You know, give it a chance. You know, because not everybody want to pay $800, $900, $1,000 for a brand new phone. So, you know, I strongly recommend this phone. And this is Mike, and I'm signing off. Peace.